This is not something that is easy to do, but I have made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment, and it's only right that I face up to that. After reading some kind-hearted comments left by some people that definitely understood the true purpose of my video, I have come to realize that I may have been wrong about what happened in Super Bowl 53. I did my best to collect great evidence, but at the end of the day, I am just a British man, and therefore by definition don't actually know anything about the American football. You see, what had happened was I just finished watching a Doctor Who marathon which had come on after Sherlock on the BBC when I stumbled across coverage of the National Football League Super Bowl final match between the Old Colonies Patriots and Los Angeles Ovis Aries. Made some rash points, and now I look stupid. You can help a dumb Briton like me learn more about the world by subscribing to my channel. We are so unbelievably close to 60,000 subscribers. You can help us pass that goal by subscribing now. But at the very least, everyone agrees that John Parry was inserted into the game like a Russian sleeper agent, which nobody had a problem with that theory. However, I did make some mistakes, and as they taught me in my time at Eton College, a righteous man faces up to his misapprehensions. So let's take a look at some of the comments. But before we get into that, I am proud to announce this week's sponsor, the Whoosh subreddit. They're paying me entirely in Cleveland Brown stock, so I've got my fingers crossed for the future. Now, of course, the main point which I thought supported my very real opinion that the Super Bowl was rigged was that I thought everybody else made their t-shirts on the sideline before winning games and the Patriots already had them ready. Now, it turns out I may not have been right, but this comment says they have t-shirts and hats ready for both teams, but that doesn't make any sense. If I'm a Los Angeles Rams player, I don't want to wear a t-shirt that says the Patriots won the Super Bowl, so why would they make them ready for both teams? Oh, I get it. They also made t-shirts that said the Rams won the Super Bowl. Well, now I feel a tad silly. You see, in the Great British Isles, we play sports in a league format, so we already tend to know who has won in advance. One of the major benefits of this format is that we don't have to donate anything to the third world countries whose poverty we basically created. As they taught me in my time at Oxford University, poor people are poor by choice and laziness, therefore we don't give them handouts. You'll have to forgive my misunderstanding of the playoff format. It's a very unique system. I mean, they use a similar system for getting to the Champions League final, and I'm sure they have t-shirts there too, but I'm a Tottenham supporter, so I don't really know much about that. Now, apparently, the next mistake I made was not knowing any of the rules. Now, to my own credit, I did manage to work out about 1.5 hours in that forward passes are allowed, but only once. But I messed up on the definition of holding. Now, this penalty by Mac Barron was of course integral to my argument that the Patriots cheated because they got a first down anyway and the drive resulted in no points. So I understand why people would get frustrated by silly old me, the Duke of Berkshire. You see, I was under the impression that this infraction was not holding because the player was performing an act of pulling, but I have now learned that those two things are the same, and I apologize for ever making the mistake. I would suggest though that the NFL, if it wishes to continue playing 3 games a year in our glorious national stadium, clarifies these rules for the simple peasant folk of England, who couldn't afford a ticket on the Mayflower. Pity us poor yokels, for we know nothing, as our parents were just simple pig farmers. So to sum up, I have accepted that my theory about Super Bowl 53 being rigged was wrong for 3 reasons. They make t-shirts for everyone in advance, which, now that you mention it, makes a lot of sense. I mean, how did I not think about that myself? 2, all holding is holding. I mean, that one stings because it supported the whole argument. And finally, number 3, I am stupid and British. The internet doesn't exist. They don't broadcast games here every week and don't play 3 more in London a year. So if I did ever want to learn the rules, I would have to hope for time travel to be invented so that I can help my sheep-shearing ancestors sneak onto the Mayflower, and then I may stand a chance. I hope that you find it in your hearts to overlook my mistakes. They were genuine and I didn't know any better. But now that my dreams of becoming an NFL whistleblower are over because it turns out I don't actually understand the sport, I mean, to be fair, I did spend the first half of the season wondering why Manchester City hadn't played any games yet, but now that the dream is over, I was thinking about maybe making some new style of videos. I thought it could be a good idea to make some satirical videos where I make really bad points on purpose to try and prove an outlandish theory. The only problem with doing something like that is I could see people either believing me entirely or missing the point entirely and trying to prove my points, which reach further than Michael Jordan at the end of Space Jam, wrong. Let me know if you guys think something like that could be popular.